Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and in today's video, we're going to talk about, does a voice over IP phone system work when your internet or electricity goes down? Most importantly, we're going to talk about the internet because the commonly asked question that I get asked from people, especially that are new to voice over IP or that are old school, they're coming from an old company or they've got a board of directors or investors or partners to contend with that are a bit old school and don't we'll just say aren't quite hip with the voice over IP technology and all the new technology out there. The biggest question is, well, what happens if our internet goes down? Do we miss phone calls? Are we not able to check or receive voicemails? We're going to talk about this right now, and the answers may surprise you because a voice over IP phone system is actually more reliable than a copper or landline or plain old telephone service analog line based phone system. So anyways, let's jump right into, will a voice over IP phone system work when your internet goes down? So as I already mentioned, this is probably one of the biggest questions that I get asked from people that are new adopters of voice over IP or looking to switch from something that's traditional. The short answer is, will the phone system go down? The short answer is yes and no. Yes, the phone system will go down, but no, you will never miss a call and you will never miss voicemails, and you can still answer calls and still check voicemails, even in real time or even away from the site. Even if your internet was to go down or your electricity was to go out or the place be completely obliterated by a natural disaster, such as hurricane, tornado, or flooding or something like that. So let's jump right in, and we're going to talk about some of this in some great detail. So anyways, one of the biggest and best ways, and every single voice over IP provider at the time of this video supports something like this. Some of them call it different names, but most of them call it call continuity. What call continuity is the ability for you to predetermine values within the phone system, either for your main phone number or main numbers or even individual extensions. If you're somebody watching this that has a larger company that has different departments, different staffers, and maybe even multiple locations, you can pre-specify in the system online, not just on site at your office, but from anywhere, where in the event that your voice over IP phone system stops communicating with the cloud, as we call it, it will automatically, the cloud part of your phone system, which is where everything resides, your voicemails, your call routing, your dial plan, things like that, the cloud will have pre-specified values that you've given it that tell it in the event that extension 402 is down, whether it's a broken phone or the phone is unplugged from the wall, or you've lost power in your office, or there's no internet, anything that would result in the cloud not being able to communicate and verify consistent registration to the phone on the desk, it will automatically forward or simultaneously forward all calls or simultaneously ring and send all calls to a pre-specified number that you've already specified. Now, what I will probably do in tandem to this video later on is actually do a video with one of our carriers where they actually show you guys how it works. So for those of you who are watching this video, at the time that we may release that video, just be on the lookout for a tag in this video that says, see it in action with this provider. The short of it is it works the same way with most every provider. It's a portal that you go into that will show a list of your extensions and a list of all your main phone numbers that you may have that are new numbers or that you ported in from a previous carrier. And you basically tell it for the call continuity or for the continuous calling in the event that there's no internet, no phone service, or nothing in your building, no building at all from a natural disaster or no electricity, forward all calls to this number. The beauty of this is that not only will most of these systems forward the calls to the numbers that you have specified, in the event that the person that is calling you don't answer, like if it's say forwarding to your cell phone or forwarding to your phone at your home office or something, in the event that you don't answer, most of the systems will not send the call to the voicemail on your cell phone or on the external number. It will send it back to the internal voicemail, which is in the cloud, which means it doesn't matter what's going on at your office, fire, flood, snowstorm, no power, no internet. It will send it back to your corporate voicemail that represents the number that they called for your business in the cloud. Now, this also means that if you get a voicemail, you can actually check this voicemail from a mobile app. You could get voicemail to email, which every single provider offers some sort of mobile app or voicemail to email. And you can also call into your voicemail the same way that you would call into your cell phone voicemail or something like that from like a landline phone or something. So basically, in short, the function and feature that I'm talking about, even though its name varies across different providers, is called call continuity. No matter what is going on at your office, because voice over IP doesn't use lines, whereas lines are normally in the ground, and if there's something going on at your office like flood, fire, whatever, your lines in your voicemail system, which is on the ground, is destroyed. Everything that you have is in the cloud. So as long as you have another phone or an internet connection somewhere else, you can have those calls routed to you and check those voicemails. And the people that are calling you wouldn't even know that your internet is out in your office, or that your office or phone system in the office may be suffering some sort of a disaster or catastrophe. There are some concerns and things that I want to go over really quick, just some things to know about this type of service. What if your internet goes down and you're out of business and whatnot? I would like for you guys to think, for those of you who are skeptical about voice over IP and you're thinking, well, I don't know that I like the idea of a phone system where if my internet goes down, I can't use the phones in the office. Let's be real. For those of you who are watching, whether you're using voice over IP right now or not, I think that we can all agree, if you don't have internet in your office, you're out of business anyways. You can't check emails. You can't send emails. You can't get on the internet to access things like your accounting software or your customer records in your CRM. You're out of business anyways in the office sense, and you need to pack up and go and work from home or something like that. One other thing that I wanted to point out also, which is not really a concern, but it's just something to understand, is keep in mind that with a voice over IP, a hosted voice over IP phone system, your phone is mobile. You are not tethered or bound by your office location. If power went out at the office, or if internet was to go out at your office and you knew it wasn't coming back for a while, let's say your power company said, hey, we're having an outage. It'll be back up, sometime later this evening or maybe tomorrow. Your configuration is within your phone and in the cloud with your provider. So you can literally pick your phone up, go to your home office, or go somewhere else that has internet, like a buddy's house or a co-location, and plug that phone directly into the wall where there's internet, and your calls will still come in just like normal, and you can still make calls out from your same office number just like normal. So you've got infinite mobility in that regard in the event of a disaster or short power or internet outage. The other thing I wanted to point out, every single voice over IP carrier these days has some sort of mobile app, which quite literally enables you to install their app for free. They usually include it for free with the extension for all of the different carriers. You install that for free, and the app, when enabled, literally mimics your desk phone. You can do things like put people on hold and they get music on hold. You can make calls from your normal desk phone or office number. You can receive calls from your normal number. You can make calls out with the appearance of still being from your main number and from your office without showing your cell phone as the caller ID. You can take calls on a distinctive ring so that you know when calls come into your cell phone through the app, whether they're somebody who's called your cell phone or whether it's somebody that's calling your office number and coming in through the app. The short of it is everybody has cell phones these days. It's the 21st century. I recommend that everybody, unless you absolutely just don't want to be bothered on your cell phone, at least have the app for the related service provider that you've got installed on your phone. That way, in the event that your internet does go down, or you break your phone or something like that, you've got to wait for another one to be shipped, or you're dealing with a natural disaster or power outage at your office, you already have a pre-set up way to be able to make and receive calls with the appearance of having with the appearance of not losing a step, the appearance that your office is still up and running and your numbers are still working and you can still check voicemails without any problem. So let's see here. Call forward. One other thing that I wanted to throw out there, which is above and beyond the mobile app or taking your phone with you, all of the voice over IP phone system service providers offer a backend for not only the administrator or owners of the company or account, but even the individual staffers have their own separate login to remotely administer their extension. they can quickly, if right now, right here, the power and internet in my home office was to go out, I could literally get up, go next door to an internet cafe or go use my neighbor's internet or something like that, and just quickly log into my backend portal for what we use as Vonage Business, log into the backend portal and tell it for my extension number 402, and for my main number, 804-767-2136, forward all calls to my cell phone. You see what I'm saying? So it's a quick, easy fix. Now, even if people were to call in and they got my voicemail or I wasn't able to answer because of internet or power loss, they're not getting nothing. That's the big thing with the older phone systems for those of you who are watching that are on an older system. If your system goes down because that big box that's on the wall controls everything, they don't get anything. They don't get voicemail. They don't get, auto attendant. They literally get like a net, or something like the number you have tried to dial is currently out of service. You will never get that with the voice over IP phone system. So back to my example. If the phones, if my internet and power was to go down right now in my office and it took me say 30 minutes to get somewhere where I could log in and forward all my calls to my cell phone or to another line that I may own or something like that, those customers are still at least getting my auto attendant and getting my voicemail. And I can still check those voicemails 30 minutes later, an hour later, 1 week later. Those voicemails aren't going anywhere because they're not stuck in my office that is subject to lightning, fire, flood, disaster, power outage. They're in the cloud with your provider, which has redundancy all across the United States. So the short of it is if your internet goes down with your voice over IP phone system, yes, your immediate phones in the office will not work, but you have so many different ways to combat against that, such as call continuity, pick up your phone and take it somewhere else, have have a mobile app already pre-installed on your cell phone so that you can take calls and make calls and not miss a beat, or just log into your backend portal and forward all your calls elsewhere when you get to a stable internet connection outside of your office that is currently experiencing an outage. So again, this concludes the video. Will a voice over IP phone system work when your internet goes down? The answer is yes. You just have to plan ahead, just like with any other disaster recovery with your business. Kind of like you don't check to see if your data backup works or not after you've suffered a data loss in the office. When you set up all those things, you put in a very simple and well thought through data recovery plan in place. It's the same with voice over IP phone systems, but much, much easier. Finally, for those of you who are watching this and you're thinking, I'm not a tech savvy person, I don't know how to set all this stuff up, don't worry. All of these providers, when you call them and say, hey, I want to make sure that if I lose power or I lose internet, I don't lose any calls or voicemails, they'll say, okay, cool, we're going to log in now. Tell me in the event that this main number or these main numbers or this extension or this department goes down, what phone numbers do you want these calls to forward to immediately when we detect that there's an issue down on the ground and there's no internet or no power? And they'll set it up for you. It's easy peasy. You'll never miss a call. You'll never miss voicemails. So for those of you who are worried about this, I highly recommend you switch to VoIP because it's actually more stable. And again, as I mentioned, if you don't have internet, you can't run business in the office anyway. So you might as well go elsewhere and take your phone with you or use your mobile app. Again, Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. For those of you who are watching and interested in advice on a new voice over IP phone system provider, don't forget my consulting service is free and we represent all voice over IP phone system providers in the United States. I'll talk to you guys again soon in the next video.